Never fight with stupid people, win without arguing, Stoicism. There is a silent power that most people never understand. It is not found in shouting louder, proving yourself harder, or winning endless arguments with foolish people. Real power is quieter than that. It sits calmly in the mind of the person who has mastered themselves. The Stoics understood this truth thousands of years ago. They knew that arguing with people who refuse reason is like trying to light a fire underwater. No matter how much energy you waste, the result is always frustration, exhaustion, and regret. In today's world, many people are trapped in endless conflict. Social media arguments, workplace drama, family tension, and emotional battles consume their peace every day. But the Stoic learns something different. The Stoic learns that silence is not weakness. Walking away is not defeat. Remaining calm while others lose control is a form of victory that weak minds can never understand. Marcus Aurelius once reminded himself that people act out of ignorance, fear, ego, and pain. When you understand this deeply, you stop taking every insult personally. You stop feeling the need to react to every foolish statement. You begin to see emotional chaos as a trap designed to steal your peace. And once your peace is stolen, your power disappears with it. Foolish people want reaction. They feed on your anger. They want your emotions because emotions give them control over you. The moment they can disturb your mind, they have already won. That is why the Stoic chooses discipline over reaction. Calm over chaos. Wisdom over ego. Instead of entering useless battles, they conserve energy for what truly matters: growth, purpose, success, and inner strength. Most people cannot do this because their ego is addicted to being right. They think every disagreement is a war that must be won. But the truth is simple: intelligent people solve problems, while foolish people create them. The wiser you become, the less interested you are in proving yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. This is one of the hardest lessons in life because human beings naturally crave validation. We want others to see our intelligence, our value, and our truth. But Stoicism teaches that your peace is more valuable than someone else's approval. You do not need to win every argument to win in life. Sometimes the greatest victory is refusing to participate in nonsense at all. Imagine how powerful your life becomes when you stop wasting emotional energy on people who cannot be changed. Imagine the freedom of no longer reacting to insults, gossip, criticism, or manipulation. That is the beginning of real strength. Most people spend years fighting battles that never mattered. Meanwhile, the disciplined person quietly builds a better life while everyone else is distracted by conflict. Remember this carefully: arguing with foolish people rarely changes them, but it can easily destroy your peace. The Stoic protects their mind like a fortress. They do not allow every opinion, every insult, or every emotional person to enter their inner world. They understand that emotional control is the foundation of true power. Most people lose themselves trying to prove a point to people who were never willing to listen in the first place. This is one of the most painful traps in life. You explain yourself repeatedly, hoping they will finally understand your intentions, your values, or your truth. But instead of peace, you receive more misunderstanding, more criticism, and more frustration. The Stoics warned against this long ago. They understood that wisdom is wasted on minds that are committed to ignorance. A foolish person does not seek understanding, they seek victory. They do not enter conversations to learn, they enter to dominate emotionally. This is why arguing with them becomes endless. No matter how much logic you provide, they twist your words. No matter how calm you remain, they search for another way to provoke you. And slowly, if you are not careful, their chaos begins to consume your inner world. The Stoic refuses to allow this. Instead of becoming emotionally trapped, they step back and observe human nature carefully. They realize something powerful: many people are fighting invisible battles within themselves. Their anger comes from insecurity. Their insults come from pain. Their arrogance comes from weakness. Understanding this changes how you react. Suddenly, you no longer feel the need to attack back. You no longer take every insult personally because you recognize that emotionally damaged people often try to damage others. This does not mean you become weak or passive. It means you become wise enough to protect your energy. Imagine carrying a cup filled with pure water through a crowded city. Every argument, every toxic person, every emotional reaction spills some of that water. By the end of the day, nothing remains. This is exactly what happens to people who constantly engage in negativity. Their energy disappears. Their peace disappears. Their focus disappears. But the Stoic guards their inner peace carefully because they understand that energy is life itself. Where your attention goes, your life follows. If you constantly focus on conflict, your life becomes conflict. If you constantly focus on drama, your mind becomes heavy with negativity. But if you focus on discipline, growth, purpose, and wisdom, your entire reality begins to change. This is why refusing to argue is not weakness, it is self-respect. It is the decision to value your peace more than your pride. Foolish people expect emotional reactions because emotional people are predictable. But calm people are dangerous because they cannot be manipulated easily. When someone realizes they cannot disturb your inner peace, they lose psychological power over you. That is true freedom. The Stoics believe that inner mastery is greater than external victory. Anyone can scream in anger. Anyone can insult others. Anyone can react impulsively. But remaining calm while others lose control requires immense discipline. This discipline is what separates wise people from the crowd. Most people spend their entire lives reacting emotionally to everything around them. They are controlled by opinions, social pressure, criticism, fear, and anger. But the Stoic becomes different. They no longer react automatically. They pause. They think. They choose their response carefully. And sometimes, the most powerful response is silence. Silence confuses foolish people because they expect conflict. They expect you to lower yourself to their level. But when you refuse, you demonstrate a strength they cannot understand. Your silence becomes proof that your peace matters more than your ego. And in a world addicted to emotional reactions, calmness becomes rare power. One of the greatest abilities you can develop is emotional detachment. This does not mean becoming cold-hearted or emotionless. It means learning not to let every situation control your inner state. Most people are emotional prisoners. Their mood changes depending on what others say about them. Praise makes them feel valuable. Criticism destroys their confidence. One negative comment ruins their peace for hours or even days. This is dangerous because it gives strangers control over your mind. The Stoic refuses to surrender this power. They understand that your worth cannot be determined by the opinions of unstable people. Imagine giving a random stranger the keys to your house. Most people would never do that. Yet every day, people hand strangers the keys to their emotions. A single insult ruins their confidence. A disagreement ruins their happiness. A toxic person ruins their peace. This is why emotional mastery is one of the greatest forms of freedom. Once you stop needing approval from everyone, you become incredibly powerful. You stop explaining yourself endlessly. You stop trying to force people to understand you. You stop wasting energy defending your existence. Instead, you focus on living well. The Stoics taught that your actions matter more than your words. Anyone can make promises. Anyone can argue about morality, intelligence, or strength. But real character reveals itself through consistent action. The person who remains disciplined during difficulty is stronger than the person who merely speaks about strength. The person who remains calm during insult is wiser than the person who constantly argues. This is why the Stoic focuses more on behavior than appearance. They do not seek attention. They seek mastery. Modern society encourages the opposite. Everywhere you look, people are desperate for validation. Social media has turned emotional reactions into entertainment. People argue publicly for attention. They attack strangers online for temporary feelings of superiority. But beneath this behavior is deep insecurity. Secure people do not need to destroy others to feel valuable. Wise people do not waste time proving themselves to fools. The Stoic recognizes this and chooses a different path. Instead of competing in emotional chaos, they build inner stability. They strengthen their mind daily through discipline, reflection, and self-control. Over time, This creates unshakable confidence. Not arrogance. Not ego. True confidence. The kind that remains calm even during criticism. The kind that does not collapse under pressure. The kind that cannot be manipulated easily. This is the power of Stoicism. It transforms your relationship with the world. Instead of reacting impulsively, you begin observing calmly. Instead of absorbing negativity, you learn to release it. Instead of fighting every battle, you choose only the battles worth fighting. And most importantly, you stop seeking victory in arguments and start seeking victory over yourself. Because the hardest battle in life is not against foolish people. It is against your own ego, anger, impatience, and emotional weakness. Conquering yourself is the highest form of victory. Once you master your emotions, foolish people lose their influence over your life completely. There is a dangerous illusion that society teaches from childhood: if someone disrespects you, you must immediately respond. If someone insults you, you must defend yourself. If someone challenges you, you must fight back. But Stoicism teaches the exact opposite. The person who instantly reacts is not strong, they are controlled. Every emotional outburst reveals a lack of mastery over oneself. Think about it carefully. Why do foolish people provoke others so often? Because provoking people is easy. It takes no intelligence to insult someone, spread negativity, or create conflict. But remaining calm under pressure requires extraordinary discipline. That is why emotional control is rare. Most people are slaves to their impulses. One insult ruins their entire day. One criticism destroys their confidence. One disagreement turns into hatred. Their emotions control them like puppets on strings. But the Stoic breaks these chains. The Stoic understands that external events do not control the mind unless permission is given. Epictetus taught that people are disturbed not by events themselves, but by their interpretation of those events. This means that insults only have power if you decide they matter. A foolish person may throw words at you, but you choose whether those words enter your mind. This realization changes everything. Suddenly, you no longer feel trapped by the behavior of others. You become emotionally independent. You stop expecting wisdom from foolish people. You stop expecting maturity from immature minds. And because your expectations change, your suffering decreases. One of the greatest mistakes intelligent people make is believing they can reason with everyone. Unfortunately, not everyone wants truth. Some people only want attention, dominance, or emotional reactions. They are not interested in understanding you. They are interested in defeating you emotionally. The Stoic sees this clearly and refuses to play the game. Imagine standing in front of a barking dog. Would you bark back at it for hours trying to prove your superiority? Of course not. Yet many people spend their lives arguing with individuals who have no interest in logic or understanding. The Stoic recognizes when silence is wiser than explanation. This is not cowardice. It is strategic wisdom. The lion does not waste energy arguing with every barking animal in the jungle. Its presence alone speaks for itself. Likewise, your life, your discipline, your success, and your peace should speak louder than endless arguments ever could. There is also another hidden danger in arguing with foolish people. Their negativity infects you. Anger spreads quickly. Bitterness spreads quickly. Emotional chaos spreads quickly. If you spend enough time fighting negativity, eventually negativity begins to live inside you. That is why protecting your inner peace is not selfish, it is necessary. Your mind is your greatest asset. Once your peace disappears, your judgment weakens. You make poor decisions. You lose focus. Your energy becomes scattered. And slowly, your life starts moving in the wrong direction. The Stoic refuses this fate. Instead of fighting every battle, they choose their battles carefully. They understand that not every attack deserves a response. Sometimes silence humiliates foolishness more effectively than words ever could. Many people believe that strength is loud. They imagine powerful people as aggressive, dominant, and constantly confrontational. But true strength is usually silent. It is calm. It is controlled. Consider the ocean during a storm. On the surface there is chaos, noise, and violence. But deep beneath the surface, the water remains still. The Stoic aims to become like that deep water, unaffected by the storms above. This is why winning without arguing is such a powerful concept. It means you are no longer emotionally dependent on external validation. You no longer need to convince everyone of your worth. Your confidence comes from within, not from applause, approval, or victory in meaningless debates. Most arguments are not about truth anyway. They are battles between egos. Each person wants to feel superior, correct, or dominant. But the Stoic asks a different question. Will this matter in a year? Most of the time, the answer is no. So why sacrifice your peace for temporary emotional battles? One of the greatest forms of intelligence is knowing when to disengage. Some people will misunderstand you no matter how clearly you explain yourself. Others will criticize you simply because your growth reminds them of their own failures. Some people attack peace because they cannot find peace within themselves. Understanding this protects you from unnecessary emotional pain. The Stoic does not waste time trying to change every mind. Instead, they focus on mastering their own. Imagine how your life changes when you stop reacting impulsively. Suddenly, stressful people lose power over you. Toxic individuals become easier to ignore. Drama no longer consumes your energy. You become emotionally untouchable. This is why Stoicism remains powerful even thousands of years later. Human nature has not changed. People still seek attention, conflict, and emotional reactions. But wisdom still belongs to those who remain calm while others lose control. There is enormous power in becoming difficult to provoke. When people realize they cannot control your emotions, they lose interest in manipulating you. Your calmness becomes your shield. Your silence becomes your weapon. And your discipline becomes your freedom. Never forget this. The strongest person in the room is often the one who remains calm while everyone else becomes emotional. Anger may look powerful in the moment, but it usually leads to regret. Calmness, on the other hand, leads to clarity. And clarity leads to wise decisions. The Stoic chooses clarity over chaos every single time. If someone insults you, remain calm. If someone misunderstands you, remain calm. If someone tries to provoke you, remain calm. Because every moment you control yourself, you become stronger than the person trying to control you. That is the true meaning of winning without arguing. If this message opened your mind and strengthened your spirit, subscribe to the channel for more powerful Stoic wisdom that will transform your mindset, discipline, confidence, and emotional strength. Join this growing community of warriors choosing peace over chaos, wisdom over emotion, and discipline over weakness. Like this video, share it with someone who needs it, and remember, the greatest victory is mastering yourself.